The Boston Celtics did it again as Brad Stevens has gotten another steal in Baylor Scheierman, the first round pick this year for the Celtics in the draft. And he is using Sam Hauser as a mentor, where Sam Hauser is helping him, teaching him things. And Sam Hauser also vocalizes that Baylor Scheierman is not just a shooter. So, how will Baylor Scheierman translate into this system, regardless if it's with Maine or with Boston? We're going to be diving into all of that and more on this episode of Celtics Digest. I'm Bruce Veliz, and we've got our guest here, NikNBA, another fellow NBA creator over on YouTube, big Celtics fan over here, Celtics creator, reached out to me, wanted to get on some of these videos, and we're going to chop it up. So, Nick, how you doing today, man?
It was a great time. And yeah, I'm happy that I'm here, bro.
Awesome, awesome. Well, let's get into it, Nick. Let's dive into this news. We're going to be breaking down the Celtics and talking about Sam Hauser and Baylor Scheierman as they are key pieces for this Celtics team. And Baylor Scheierman had some fantastic quotes at Media Day over these last couple of days. For fans that don't necessarily know, Sam Hauser was gifted a big contract extension, $45 million this season. And he's going to be long term with this team. But Brad Stevens did it once again, going out and getting a player in Baylor Scheierman who shares a very similar skill set to Sam Hauser. We have some quotes from Baylor Scheierman, from Sam Hauser, talking about each other. So let's get into that here for you guys. Baylor Scheierman first talking about Sam Hauser, saying he's one of the best shooters in the league and was a key part on a championship team last year. And working out with him, seeing how he's not only on the court, but off the court, just his routine in general, now how he prepares for his workouts, how he does after his workouts, and then in his workouts, just shaping tips up and different tricks to help him get his shot quicker is what Baylor is learning from Sam. And Sam also had some stuff to say about Baylor Scheierman, calling him a great shooter, but also more than a shooter. Noted Hauser. He's got a great feel for the game, and he's pretty crafty. The best thing that he can do is just try to help him in the first year and help him with any opportunities he gets on the floor or if he gets any opportunities in Maine. Whatever that may be for him, but definitely going to have an open ear to him, but whenever he has questions or help, anything like that. But he's a really good player and he's got a good feel for things, and I think he's going to be a good player in this league. So from hearing that from Sam Hauser, from hearing that from Baylor Scheierman, Nick, do you agree with Sam Hauser and Baylor Scheierman? Do you think he's going to be a nice player for this team?
I agree wholeheartedly, man. I did a lot of stuff on Shaman, probably a little too much, but yeah, no, him and Hauser are very similar players as far as um the type of player they're gonna be if Shaman gets a chance to play with the Celtics this season. Celtics are loaded, so a guy that's coming in for the first season is not guaranteed to play at all. But Shaman is one of the best shooters in this draft class. Hauser being a top 10 shooter in the in this in the in this in the in the in the league. It's goes hand in hand. And now, if he say he's trying to get his shot up quicker, that could be dangerous because Shaman already has a quick ass trigger. So if he's learning that from Hauser, and that could be really dangerous. Now I don't know how a shot could get any quicker, but it is what it is. So, and yeah, I agree with what Sam Hauser said. Shaman is not just a shooter. He has a complete offensive game as far as like his passing is phenomenal. He has true point guard passing chops, and he can play anything on offense. He can be that shooter. He can come off screens. He can just stand there in the corner. He can be a guy that can run a lot of a lot of picks and stuff. So he can really pass. He can dribble. The only thing I was saying was that he's a little bit slower, but some stuff that came out, he's slimmed down just a little bit. I ain't gonna go, what I'm saying, but I do love Shaman and Hauser, trying to get close.
I do too, and I think it's perfect to have that kind of shaping stone and Jellstone. As we all know, Sam Hauser went through the main Celtics, kind of had this trajectory of being that undrafted pick. So seeing that kind of notation and kind of example of Sam Hauser, I think is going to push Baylor Scheierman even more. You also brought the fact that Baylor Scheierman is one of the best shooters in this draft class, and I think that might be a case for him to get some minutes on this rookie deal. Like last year with Walsh, a lot of fans were expecting him maybe to get some minutes. When he didn't, they were a little disappointed, but he's on that little bit of a younger side, coming in being a rookie last year, obviously. Scheierman, obviously, having 5 years at college, has that little bit of experience in college, maybe to translate into the NBA. Now, Nick, we're going to look at this video clip here from you because, like you said, you talked an abundance about Baylor Scheierman on your channel. We're going to look a little bit in depth on what Baylor Scheierman can bring for the Celtics team, like similar to Sam Hauser. So check it out, guys.
And the reason why I think Scheierman projects well as a shooter, especially for the Celtics, is because of how Creighton ran their offense last season. Creighton is one of the more creative offenses in college basketball, and they run things for Scheierman that the Celtics run for their shooters like Sam Hauser. All right, so here they go with Spain PNR, but they're going to set it up with ram action. Ram action is just when an off-ball screen is set for somebody to go set a ball screen. So here you see Scheierman setting the off-ball screen for Kalkbrenner. He's going to come out and set this screen, and of course, Spain PNR is when the shooter sets a back screen on the roller's man, and then he comes out to the three-point line. Now, sometimes if a team is really prioritizing the three-point shot on this Spain PNR, the shooter won't bother setting the screen. They'll just come out and try to get to the three-point line, which is what happens here with Scheierman. Kalkbrenner has gravity as a roller, takes two people with him. Scheierman's open, and he hits the three from the wing. And if you watch the Celtics this season, you've seen Sam Hauser do this 1,000 times. This is a ghost screen. So here, the thing I like about ghost screens is that it gets the defense to relax because they think one thing is coming. So as Scheierman is going to come up to the person that's guarding the ball, his man is going to stop and relax because he thinks they're just going to have an easy switch. He's going to set this screen. Trey Alexander's going to come off to him, and it's going to be an easy switch. But Scheierman, he runs up to him like he's going to set the screen, gets the defense to relax, and he goes right out of it, and he gets an open three.
So as you guys could see from those clips and voiced by Nick, absolutely fantastical. We could see Baylor Scheierman working on his offensive game, working on his picks, his screens, how Nick was describing, and how he can be utilized as not just a shooter for this Celtics team, but an abundance of offensive creations. But also, he is going to be used on that defensive side of the ball as well. Nick, I know this clip vividly. The clip of Baylor Scheierman versus the Lakers diving into the stands trying to save that loose ball. That was a key defensive clip. And Baylor Scheierman has more to talk about his defensive prowess as well. If you want to look back at some more quotes here, said, talking about, I think offensively, I feel confident in myself being able to impact the game on the floor. And I know in order for me to get minutes on the floor, it's all going to come down to defense. And so that's where I'm trying to hang my hat on and just trying to get better every single day in that category. Now, that is courtesy of Bobby Kravitsky of Sports Illustrated, writing another fantastic article. Nick, you think that he can translate this defensive game? We know he's a really good rebounder from college.
And the reason why I
think
Scheierman
translate into this year for Baylor Scheierman?
This year might be a stretch, but I do think that at some point he will be a solid enough defender to play a lot in this league. That was the only thing. And it's when I was, it's not even that he's a bad defender. It's just that he's just a slower guy, right? And I was saying that, hey, this could help if he slims down a little bit, which he has. So now he could be quicker, you know what I'm saying? And he has great he's smart, great positioning on that side, so that also helps. But it was just that, the quickness to like, check the quicker players just not there. Now that he slimmed down a little bit, he'll have to get used to that, but I think that could help. And with all of the players, right, there's a theme. Lonnie said this too. It's like, hey, I can score, cool, but if I'm gonna play for this championship team, it got to be on that side. And you got to play defense. It's no ifs, ands. You know what I'm saying? You have to play. So for Scheierman to say that, for someone else to say that, it just shows that they are trying to come here with their heads on straight. So I honestly, it's great.
I love it too, man. Like I'm so excited to hear that. I love that you brought up that valid point of them working hard on the defensive side. They understand that they have to work on that defensive side because I think we kind of saw that with guys like Brissett and Tillman, kind of some, and even Springer, some of those newer additions this season coming in. They understood that there had to be excellent on that defensive side of the ball. Maybe they were a bit more specialized at being a better defender than a player like Scheierman is. He's better on the offensive side, but those players understood I need to be good at defense. I need to work hard on defense. That's what's going to get me. If I show effort on that side of the ball and work on my offensive side, it will translate. And look at Tillman right there, showing effort on the defensive side, gets him that big opportunity, which lets him hit that big shot in game three. It's just all about that work and all about that effort. Kind of going more in on Sam Hauser being a mentor as well, looking back at some more quotes here. You can obviously look at this one here where Baylor Scheierman said when he first got back from summer league and we started working out together, him and Sam Hauser, it just happened to be in the same group. Him and they're both from the Midwest. He's from Wisconsin. I'm from Nebraska, so we have that connection. He's been there for me whenever he has a question. So on and off the court, they seem to be gelling, seem to be working together, and this is something that's great for Celtics fans to see. Not only for Sam Hauser and his development as a player, kind of rising up from undrafted to now getting a long-term contract to now being a mentor, but also good for Baylor Scheierman to kind of see that, placement and development can be taken place. Now, Nick, when we talk about Scheierman, what are your kind of projections for him going into this season for Celtics fans?
It's really hard for a guy to come on this team that just got a championship, a guy that hasn't played yet to play in this league. Like you said about Jordan, like a lot of people, including me, there's some times where I was like, do I want to play Svi over my rookie? Do I want to do that? But it's just like, he has his time. You know what I'm saying? He has his time. So projections, I wouldn't get too high on that, to be completely honest with y'all. Um, I just think this team is too stacked. Now, injuries happen. There are some games where Sam Hauser has taken over for like Tatum or Brown, and he has a huge game. There are games where Celtics have to rest and Scheierman can't play. I expect him to in those games be a really, really just be a solid player. He's gonna be really poised. He's gonna make the right decisions. And so yeah, I expect him if he gets those chances to just be really solid, but I wouldn't expect him to get a lot of opportunities this season.
I think I'm in the same boat as you. I was very much in that boat with the why is speed playing over Jordan Walsh last season, and then I kind of understood, and I totally get it. I kind of see it as well. I know that Sharman's a little bit older, so he may be able to break into that roster a little bit, but I truly think he's going to be a guy that's going to be playing in Maine for a majority of this season, kind of learning, understanding that, because you brought up some valid points. They already have a talented roster. They just won a championship. They brought basically everybody back, and then I think that some of these other guys that need a position need, like at that center position, he doesn't really feel like, you know what I mean? He's not really competing. Like Tatum, Brown, they already have those solidified roles. Howes already has that solidified role. The one thing that I do want to look for, like you mentioned as well, JB mentioned this at Media Day, where sometimes when they got to play some of the bad teams like the Pistons or the Wizards, they let Pritchard or Hauser take care of that. We saw that last season with Hauser going off versus the Blazers and Wizards and stuff. But I think that's exactly the type of games that we need to see Scheierman get those minutes, get that opportunity, get to see what he can do, because in March or April versus a Wizards team that has 12 points, if we win or lose that game, it's not going to matter. It's not going to affect us in the standings. So ultimately, kind of letting Walsh and Scheierman and maybe even Springer or Lonnie Walker, whoever's there at the time, kind of experimenting and having fun at that point, I think will be the kind of time that we do get to see them shine.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. And I was there for the Sam Hauser game when we played the Wizards. Yo, he was gonna break the record easily. Easily. He was gonna break that shit easy. He had 30 in the third quarter, like half, and like the sets that the Celtics were like, he was the focal point. Like it was all on him. It was like, hey, all right, yeah, look, we playing the Wizards. Let's get like it was so true. And like I was like, damn, he was right about that. Like he was gonna break that record easy. He had 30 in the third quarter. Unfortunately, he got hurt, but nah, it was amazing to see.
And I think that, like you said, like I think like we could see Scheierman, maybe not to that degree of 30, but maybe getting 15 or something like that versus a team like that, and fans excited, and similar to how when Tillman hit the three in the finals, you have the team jumping up, showing the happiness, and that's not only good for the player but good for the franchise. Just good overall morale for the Boston Celtics, which is what we want to see and bring. So hopefully Baylor Scheierman can be electrifying, can be a nice piece to be added to this team, regardless if it's not affected this year. Even if he's in Maine for a majority of the season, he can be a key, impactful scorer for this Celtics team, because I think they hit a home run on this draft selection. Getting him at pick 30 was an absolute steal. So let us know what you guys think down below in the comment section. How do you guys feel? This will not be the only video Nick will be on here on this channel, so make sure to stay tuned for the other video that Nick will be featured on as well. Once again, thank you so much for you guys tuning into the channel. Thank you guys so much for coming in. If you don't already follow us, hit the subscribe button. Check out Nick as well at NikNBA. I'll have his channel linked in the description. Go check him out. Give him a sub as well. Without further ado, Bruce and Nick signing off. Have a great rest of your day, and go Boston Celtics.